I think we do want to emphasize that it is, our goal is to support the advent of sustainable energy. It is not to create a walled garden and use that to bludgeon our competitors.
Yep. Hello everyone, my name is Kaseem. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, you are welcome. If you're not new to the channel, you're welcome back. I appreciate you for coming back to check out the video and to see what I have to say in today's video. So what we're going to do in today's video is we are going to go over Tesla's earnings call. This is a 1 hour earnings call, which I've broken up into multiple sections. So bear with me with the video that the ones that you're watching. Check the playlist. Everything will be in the order in which I record the video and the order in which the earnings call comes in. So we are going to listen to the earnings call. I personally like to listen to earnings calls, especially Tesla's earnings call. Okay, this is the primary way that I try to get the information about the company. Apart from the Tesla community, you know, Tesla Daily, a lot of all these Tesla channels that they're doing such great jobs. But the other way that I try to get, you know, legit Tesla information is by looking at the earnings call. Okay, before we get into the video, I just want to clarify things. This video is just my reaction and it's my own opinion. It's my interpretation of the information that I'm getting from the call. I'm not getting any information from anybody. This is just my opinion of the information that I'm getting from the call, which informs my thesis on how I invest in the company, if I still keep on investing in the company moving forward. So this is just my own opinion. So just take it as that. What we have here is the earnings call. I got it directly from the website. I'm gonna leave all the link in the description if you guys want to listen to the full earnings call. I'll put it in the description for you to listen to. So I personally like to do this just because this is a great way to learn from the company, to see what the company is up to. So that way you're not listening to other people's opinion on the company. You're listening to, you're getting information directly from the source. Okay. This is why I listen to earnings call. This is why you have earnings calls. So management can talk to investors, let investors know what's going on with the company. Okay. So I'm going to go through this with you guys. Hopefully you like it. If you like this video, if you like what I do here, consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you for that. So let's get into it. So we are going to get into the earnings call here. We are going to listen to the call and I will pause and add some commentary where I believe I need to add some commentary. Okay, this is how I like to operate here on this channel. I always listen to Tesla's earnings call. You know, I feel like it's very important.
Thank you. Let's go to the second question from retail, which is, Elon has said that Tesla will be opening up the Supercharger network to other EVs later this year. Can you share some more details on how this will be structured? Will this be a select brands or will they contribute to the growth of this network?
Yeah, we're currently thinking it's a real simple thing where you just download the Tesla app and you go to a Supercharger and you just indicate which stall you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So you plug in your car, even if it's not a Tesla, and then you just access the app and say, turn on the stall that I'm in for how much electricity. And this should basically work with, I think, almost any manufacturer's cars. There will be a time constraint. So if the charge rate is super slow, then somebody will be charged more because the biggest constraint at the superchargers is time. How occupied is the stall.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll also be smarter with how we charge for electricity at the superchargers. So, you know, rush hour charging will be more expensive than off-hours charging because there are times when the superchargers are empty and times when they're jam-packed. And so it makes sense to have time-based discrimination on.
Yeah, we've been doing that, and it's been working, and people respond, and it helps with utilization.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think we're in Europe and China and most parts of the world. It's the same connector for everyone. So this is a fairly easy thing to do. Developed our own connector, which, in my opinion, is actually developed supercharging. Tesla was the only one who had high power charging, and there was no standard. So we developed our own connector, which, in my opinion, is actually the best connector. It's small and light, and looks good. So an adapter is needed to work for EVs in North America, but people can buy this adapter, and we anticipate having it available at the superchargers as well, if people don't sort of steal them or something.
We have a good solution for that.
Okay. So, but that is just that's a constraint on the North American thing.
Yeah.
That's basically a vestige of history. But I think we do want to emphasize that it is our goal is to support the advent of sustainable energy. It is not to create a walled garden and use that to bludgeon our competitors.
Yep. Yep. The company basically focus on the mission. They give out their patents for free. Like, they give out so many things for free just to make sure other companies jump on the EV train so they can get the EV product up and everything like that. So he's a mission-driven person. The company is a mission-driven company.
It's sometimes used by some companies.
I think it's also important to comment that increasing the utilization of the network actually reduces our costs, which allows us to lower charging prices for all customers, makes the network more profitable, allows us to grow the network faster. So it's a good thing there. And no matter what, we're going to continue to aggressively expand the network capacity, increasing charging speeds, improving the trip planning tools to protect against site congestion using dynamic pricing, as Elon mentioned.
Yeah.
And just continue to focus on minimum wait time for all customers.
Yeah, obviously, in order for this for the supercharger to be useful to other car companies, cars, we need to grow the network faster than we're growing vehicle output, which is not easy. We're growing vehicle output at a hell of a rate. So superchargers need to grow faster than vehicle output. So this is a lot of work for the supercharger team. But it is only useful in the grand scheme of things. It's only useful to the public if we're able to grow faster than Tesla vehicle output. So that is our goal.
Thank you very much. And the third question is, Elon said 4680 cells aren't reliable enough for vehicles. Is this referring to cycle life, degradation, or something else? Please update us on progress of 4680s and what still needs to be done to make them reliable enough for vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, really, this is not. We'll definitely make the 4680 reliable enough for vehicles, and I think are at the point where in limited volume it is reliable enough for vehicles.
Yes.
Again, going back to limited production is easy, or prototype production is easy, but high volume production is hard. There are a number of challenges in transitioning from sort of small scale production to a large volume production.
Okay.
And not to get too much into the weeds of things, but right now we have a challenge with basically what's called calendaring, or basically squashing the cathode material to a particular height. So it just goes through these rollers and gets squashed like pizza dough, basically, but very hard pizza dough, and it's denting the calendar rolls. This is not something that happened when the calendar rolls were smaller, but it is happening when the calendar rolls are bigger. So just we're like, okay, we weren't expecting that.
Yeah. It's not a science problem. It's an engineering problem. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And the team is 100% focused on resolving these limiting processes as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
Cool.
Um,
Cool.
Yeah, and on the reliability side, as Elon mentioned, we have successfully validated performance and the lifetime durability of the 4680 cells produced at Cato. And we're continuing ongoing verification of that reliability. We're actually accruing over 1 million equivalent miles on our cells that we produce every month. In our testing activities. The focus on that is very clear. We want high quality cells for all of our customers.
Nice.
And yeah, we're just focused on the unlucky limiting steps in the facility, and with the engineers focused on those few steps remaining, we're going to break through as fast as possible.
Cool.
Meantime, we have a massive amount of equipment on order and arriving for the high volume cell production in Austin and Berlin, and but obviously, given what we've learned with the pilot plant, which is in Fremont, which is really quite a big plant by most standards, we will have to modify a bunch of that equipment. So, it won't be able to start immediately. But it seems like, Drew, correct me if I'm wrong, but we think most likely we will hit an annualized rate of 100 gigawatt hours a year sometime next year.
Cool.
We'll have all the equipment installed
to
accomplish 100 gigawatt hours, and it's possible that by the end of the year we will be at an annualized rate of 100 gigawatt hours by the end of the year.
Nice.
Yeah. My guess is more likely than not, about 50% of reaching 100 gigawatt hours a year by the end of next year on an annualized rate, something like that.
Yep.
Cool.
But it could shift by a little bit. So but it's nothing, as Drew mentioned, it's nothing fundamental.
No.
Just a lot of work.
Yeah, and even to the large roller question, Elon, right? Like on the anode side, the large rollers work great, no concerns. And so we're just learning as we go. And the nice thing about having that facility, on the fast track like we had it, and we talked about it at Battery Day, was really de-risking the big factories here. That's what we've done, and we've learned a lot. And with each successive iteration, the ramp up and the equipment installation will be faster and more seamless.
All right, thank you very much. And the last question from retail is from Emmett. Can Elon do an interview with one of our YouTube channels once or twice a year? I would nominate David Lee on Investing or Rod Mauer's Tesla Daily channels as first possible candidates.
That would be great, actually, to see Elon on one of these channels. Just to have a laid back situation. I think Rod Mauer or David Lee, they're both very, very, very intelligent investors, and they've been following Tesla for a long time. So I think they will be good on that channel. They will know the right questions to ask. They've been following Tesla for a long period of time. So it would be nice to get him on there maybe once or twice. It would be nice to get him on.
Yeah, I guess I'll do an interview. Just bear in mind, if I'm doing interviews, then I can't do actual other work, so.
Which is true.
It's not.
This is true.
Only so much time in the day, so.
This is true. This is true.
But yeah, I'll do it once. No, I won't do it annually, but I'll do it once. I think also this is the. I wouldn't say the last time I'll do earnings calls, but this is I will no longer be default doing earnings calls. So obviously I'll do the annual shareholder meeting, but I think going forward I will most likely not be on earnings calls unless there's something really important that I need to say.
Okay, so let's unpack there. So Elon said he's open to doing an interview on one of the YouTube channel, maybe Dave Lee on Investing or Rob Mauer. That's good. That is good. And then a bombshell right there. He said he's not going to be doing earnings call anymore. I guess that's a good thing. It would be nice to hear from Elon once in a while. But anyways, that's why you have Twitter. He's always on Twitter. Probably the earnings call won't be much of a issue anymore because he has a team of people now. All of these other guys can take over. Yeah, it will have more time to be able to devote to actually doing work. Because remember, he's running so many companies, man. He's running Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, the Boring Company, and then they have another one, OpenAI, the 5 different companies. So the guy is busy. I don't even know how he gets time to do all this stuff. So him not being on the earnings call, we'll miss him, but let's leave him to be doing productive things in the real world.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to institutional questions. The first one, and we covered.
So now this is questions from Wall Street, all right?
A lot of this already. Can you please update us on timelines for the start of production of Berlin and Austin, Model Y, Cybertruck, and the Semi? Do you expect the ramp of Cybertruck to be as difficult as it is a new process?
I think Cybertruck ramp will be difficult because it's such a new architecture.
Okay.
It's going to be a great product. It might, I think, be our best product ever, but it doesn't.
It might be our best product ever. It's going to be a great product. It might be our best product ever. The thing is, I trust Elon because Elon don't lie. I've never witnessed a guy lie about anything, period.
A lot of fundamentally new design ideas in Cybertruck. Nobody's ever really made a car like this before.
Yep.
A vehicle like this before. So there'll probably be challenges because there's so much unexplored territory.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think question 2 and question 3 we can skip given we have already addressed it. I'll go to question 4. In 5 years' time, how much faster, better could you be at manufacturing capacity expansion using cut and paste? And what are the biggest issues you need to solve to get to that rate?
Well, like I said, I think we might be the fastest growing company in history for any large manufactured item. So those who have not actually been involved in the manufacturing ramp have just no idea how painful and difficult it is.
We sure don't know.
It's like, you got to eat a lot of glass, and for our manufacturing ramp, it's hard.
Yeah, I think if you look at the expansion we've done in Shanghai, that factory was built in less than a year and ramped in 5 to 6 months to full volume. When you consider
Too long than that, about a year.
And when you consider cut and paste, we've repeated that, in Fremont and whatever. But now with Berlin and Austin, we have new factories and new designs, and so there's always challenges, as you said, Elon, with
new factories and new designs. Like the nuance, just those words are very important to catch on, because I'm saying new factories, so that means just not that it's not just only the cars that are being designed in a different way, like the Cybertruck, like the semi-truck, okay? New design, new architecture, new everything. The factory itself, the place that this product will be produced, is being designed. So the factory itself is a product of the company because they designed the factory in the best way that can help produce more cars at a cheaper price. So Tesla's investors, keep an eye on stuff like this. Just a tiny little nuance. That's where you get all the gems, all the great information from the company's executives.
With new designs and ramping that. But I think having teams in 3 locations or 3 continents will definitely expand our ability and our capacity to, grow more lines rather than just having the one factory in Fremont that we had, a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, for Shanghai, it was incredible team, both the factory in 11 months, but it took longer than building the factory. It was hot. It took longer than that to actually reach volume production, high volume production. So it took about a year. When you put a factory in a new geography, in order for that factory to be efficient, you have to localize the supply chain. So there's no such thing as cut and paste.
So he talked about localizing supply chain. I think China, the factory in China, most of the supply chain is basically localized now. They get everything from China, make the car in China, sell it in China. Some of them they export to other part of Asia, but everything is being localized. So that's a good thing because it saves them on cost, being able to, get parts and parts for the car from all over the world. It saves them on that. So that is a pretty good thing.
It does not exist. And that, obviously it'd be insane to do vehicle production in Europe but send vast numbers of parts from North America. That would be, that would make the, producing in Europe, for example, just crazy. You've got to localize the supply chain to have efficiency, and then you're moving as fast as your least lucky, least good supplier. It's only the supply chains where you go like, 3 or 4 layers deep. It's frankly, I feel at times that we are inheriting all force majeure of Earth. So if anything goes wrong anywhere on Earth, something happens to mess up the supply chain.
I think the human capital growth, though, of having factory here, Berlin, Shanghai, Fremont, does allow us to maybe not exponentially grow, but hopefully
we are exponentially growing.
Yeah, hopefully maintain that exponential growth.
Yeah. It takes a while to hire all the people and train all the people to operate the factory.
Sure.
A factory is like a giant cybernetic collective, and you can't just hire 10,000 people and have it work instantly. It's not possible.
Sure, it takes time.
I really encourage more people to get involved in manufacturing. I think, especially in the U.S., this has just not been an area where all that many smart people have gone into. I think the U.S. has an overallocation of talent in finance and law. It's both a criticism and a compliment. I'm not saying we shouldn't have people in finance and law. I'm just saying maybe we have too many smart people in those careers.
In those fields.
Maybe.
Manufacturing's fun.
Maybe I should switch from a finance channel to a manufacturing channel. Manufacturing is
great. It's a very interesting problem to solve, and obviously you can't have stuff unless someone makes it.
Yep.
That's how you get stuff.
This is true.
Yeah.
Okay, so having listened to the earnings call, we've learned so much from the earnings call. We've learned that they are ramping up their factory and they're looking to make sure the factory starts production this year. Elon talks about how difficult manufacturing is, that more people need to be in manufacturing. The concentration of talents in the US, he mentioned the concentration of talents in the US is too much in finance and law, that they need to the US needs to produce more manufacturers, which is probably true. They talk about their batteries. They talk about all the different formulas that they're using for their battery, that they're looking to reduce that into a few formulas so it is easier to manage. This is just a very insightful call. It's very jam-packed with lots of good information, and I hope you've learned something from this video. So yeah, that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope you've learned something. This video is going to be broken down into multiple segments, maybe 4 or 5 different videos, just because it's too long to put into one. So click on the link at the end of this video to continue watching the next part to the video. So that's it. Thank you very much again for watching. Appreciate you. Until next time, see you later. Love you all. Bye. What's up, man? Let me pause this.
Oh, you're recording? Oh.